Hi, Palabo here. While I'm working on episodes for the next season, I'll give you some flashback episodes. You get 3 episodes per week. This one is episode 137, and it was recorded in August 2019. It's from my visit to Sri Lanka. Before we start, I'd like to remind you that I have a Facebook page where I share a lot of photos and stories that doesn't necessarily make it into this podcast. It's on facebook.com/The Radio Vagabond, or just search for The Radio Vagabond. Okay, let's go to Sri Lanka.
Hot? Very hot.
Can I sit on the front seat?
Oh, yes, sure.
I prefer that.
Yes, sure.
Meet Palabo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
This is how Lonely Planet's video, Best in Travel 2019, on their website starts.
Best in Travel is Lonely Planet's annual search to find the top countries, regions and cities to visit in the next 12 months. And for 2019, our top city is Copenhagen.
Being Danish, I just wanted to slip that in there. My capital, wonderful Copenhagen, has been selected best city in the world to travel to in 2019.
Denmark's capital of cool will be even better to visit in 2019.
But that's not the point. Let's skip a little bit to where they start talking about the country they selected as the number 1 country for travelers to visit in 2019.
For Lonely Planet's best country in 2019, Sri Lanka is a destination revived. There's now more than ever for families, adrenaline junkies, eco-tourists and foodies of all budgets.
Almost 10 years after the end of the Civil War, Sri Lanka has been named the best country in the world to visit in 2019 by Lonely Planet. And this is where we're heading in this and the next few episodes of the Radio Vagabond.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
I'm taking a small detour from my episodes from Africa again to bring you something that happened to me recently. And if you're a regular listener looking forward to hear what happened to me at the hospital in Cape Town and everything else in the southern tip of Africa, don't worry, it'll be out soon. But in this and the next few episodes, I'm taking you to Sri Lanka. It's my first visit in this country, and that brings my country count up to 84 at this point. Sri Lanka Tourism was kind enough to invite me on a 10-day trip to explore the country. My name is Palabo. It's episode 137 of the Radio Vagabond, and this is So Sri Lanka, Part 1. What you heard in the beginning of this episode was me arriving in Sri Lanka wearing jeans, a long-sleeved shirt, and my jacket over my arm. It was hot, around 33 Celsius, 91 Fahrenheit, and I was sweating like a pig when I was walking to the car with the driver they'd sent to pick me up. I couldn't wait to get to the hotel and slip into something more light. The Radio Vagabond is supported in part by Hotels25.com. And speaking of hotels, in the next 10 days we're staying at 6 great hotels around the island. The first one is Cinnamon Lakeside. It's a 5-star hotel in Colombo. Accommodation in Sri Lanka is reasonable compared to Western prices. Just to demonstrate Hotels25.com, I did a quick search on Cinnamon Lakeside in Hotels25. When I search, I get different prices from different hotel search sites. I get results from 8 different sites. Agoda, Get a Room, Aroma, Expedia, Hotels.com, Prestigia, DTF Travel, and something called Skoosh. Have you ever heard of Skoosh? Imagine that Skoosh.com had the best price. Would you have found it? Well, you would with Hotels25. The prices of the exact same room varies from $75 to $117. It is the exact same room, a double room including breakfast, at different prices. In this case, the best offer was from Agoda, but that's not always the case. It varies from search to search. And that's why Hotels25.com is such a great tool. You could search all 8 sites yourself, including Skoosh, if you have nothing better to do. But why would you when there's a website at your fingertips just ready to do it for you? Please try it and save both time and money. Hotels25.com. I'll put a link in the show notes to Cinnamon Lakeside so you can see for yourself. I also put some pictures of it on theradiovagabond.com. So I made it to the hotel. It's a beautiful luxury hotel, and wow, what a nice room they gave me. And I just quickly changed my clothes, washed up a little bit. I didn't have time for a shower, even though I needed one, because I have to be downstairs where I am right now, right outside the lobby, with the group, going to lunch and a small walking tour of Colombo. So this is where the whole thing starts. There's so many people, a few familiar faces in the group, but most of the people I don't know yet, but I'm going to get to know them. I'm spending the first few days right here in Colombo. Colombo metropolitan area has a population of 5.6 million and around 750,000 in the city itself. Colombo is a fascinating city. The mixture of East and West and past and present makes it an interesting city. It is the capital of the country and only around 45 kilometers south of the country's only international airport. And this is where we begin the adventures here in Sri Lanka.
Boarding will be announced by the zone numbers indicating on your boarding passes.
But before I'll take you out in the bustling city, let's go back in time to when I was heading down here and had a stopover in Doha, Qatar.
I'm in Doha, Qatar. I'm at the airport, but this is only a transit. So I haven't been to Qatar yet. I really want to see this country, but that's going to be another time because a stopover doesn't count as a visit, obviously.
Sri Lanka, we expect good weather conditions with calm and good visibility and a few clouds with a temperature around 29 degrees. We wish you a pleasant flight. Thank you.
The flight from Doha in Qatar to Colombo in Sri Lanka was a bit more than 5 hours. It was a red-eye in the middle of the night from 1:40 local time, and it was a bit rough. I couldn't really sleep and I had very little room to move, partly because the guy in front of me took the seat all the way down, so it was just a few inches from the front of my face. I know it's your right to put the seat down, especially on a night flight, and maybe it's just me, but when I do it, I can't help thinking about the person behind me. It's a little bit silly, but I always take it down very slowly, centimeter by centimeter. I don't just wham, take it all the way down in one go. Well, this guy did, and I know that's okay. It is his right. But it was mostly a problem for me when they served dinner. Yeah, they did that even though it was in the middle of the night. It was impossible to access my tray table with his seat all the way back. He didn't put it back up until I tapped him on the shoulder and asked him to. And then he did, so stop complaining, Palabo. But also I had pains in my leg, my chest, and especially my right arm and my shoulder. I don't know exactly what happened, but I could hardly lift my arm. I guess what I'm saying that it was uncomfortable and I didn't sleep a wink that night. This is all a part of setting you up to what happened next, so you can understand what I felt like when I landed in Sri Lanka and had to go through immigrations. It was one of those typical airport immigrations with around 10 counters. You choose one line, wait for a while, go up to an officer that looks at your passport, the little slip that you filled out, and your visa, types in a bit in a keyboard and stamps your passport. and in this case also puts a small sticker that he prints out on a special little printer. This will become important for this story later. I chose a line, and then I could see that the line beside me was a little shorter. I chose to jump over to that line. That turned out to be a mistake. The lines weren't really that long. I think I only waited around 10 minutes for it to be my turn. At this time, it was 9:40 in the morning, local time.
Morning.
As you can hear in my voice, I was cheerful and feeling good, despite my shoulder pains and the fact that I hadn't slept much that night. And I was having a nice chat with the smiling officer.
Yes. Can't wait to see the country. Yeah, about time. It's been on my list for so long.
He did all the things he had to and pushed enter on his keyboard when he'd done processing everything. He only needed to print out the little sticker and put it in my passport. But then the sticker didn't come out. It got stuck inside the printer. And that sticker was the last one on the roll, and he had to call a guy to replace it.
So somebody's on the way.
So I had to wait for a bit. But I was totally fine with that.
Yeah. No problem. Otherwise I'd just be standing waiting for the suitcase, so it doesn't really matter.
I thought if I wait here or wait at the baggage claim for my suitcase, that would be the same. After waiting 10 minutes for the tech guy to bring a new roll of labels, he left me to go find him. By this time, there were hardly any other people waiting. It was just me and the officers at the other counters. While he was gone, I started chatting with the guy in the next booth and asked him if he had labels in his printer. Maybe I could just have him do it. He said that it was already in the other computer, so there was nothing he could do. A few minutes later, my guy came back again. Still no sight of the tech guy with a new roll of labels.
Extremely sorry about that.
Oh, what?
Extremely sorry about that.
Yeah. Well,
He's very busy today.
yeah. I just want to lie down. I asked your colleague, can I take my passport over to you? And he said, no, it's already in the machine, so we can't do that.
If I didn't go now, he will never come now.
No.
He's very busy today.
Yeah.
7 minutes later, he left again. And this time he returns with the tech guy. He's on the phone while he replaces the labels. It's now 10:02.
I came with a guy that put the labels in, and then he started from scratch processing my passport. And just as he was almost done, he took my passport and left the booth, and now I'm all alone again. I've been waiting here. I've been here 25 minutes. Weird.
I'm left alone at the booth, again. By then, I'm the only one here. I'm tired, and there's no place I can sit down. As I'm waiting here, another guy is coming around to all the counters and collects the many immigration slips that people have filled out on the plane. I notice that he also takes my slip, and I tell him that he might want to leave that in case they need it. And thank God I did that. 10 minutes later, my guy comes back again and asks me to follow him.
Yes, it's
Could you
here.
please come with me?
Yes.
I'm sorry about that.
They need the reference number for my visa. Funny enough, he already typed that into the computer. I follow him to a small office in the back. Here's a senior officer behind a computer looking at my visa reference number, my passport,
I also have the full email.
and the immigration slip. Something's not right. On the way back, my guy explains what happened.
Finish our stickers.
Yeah.
There's a certain time we have to enter your numbers in certain time, otherwise your visa expired.
When he entered my details, he only had a certain time before printing the labels. If he waits too long, the system will say that the visa had expired. Oh, that's why. That's why. I understand. And that is exactly what happened when we were waiting for the tech guy with the new labels. By this time, it's 10:30, 45 minutes after I got to the immigration counter. And I was starting to get a little bit worried if my suitcase would still be there, left on the belt in the baggage reclaim.
I hope my suitcase is still there.
In front of me, there was a screen that up until now had said that the flight from Doha was on belt number 3.
I'm dehydrated, I'm thirsty, I need a cup of coffee, I need to get to my suitcase because I can see on a screen here that it stopped announcing the belt for Doha, where I come from. Still nothing. I'm still in line. Well, I'm still at the counter. I'm almost the only one here. Again, he tried to process my passport and took off again into an office where I was just before, and that was another 10 minutes ago.
Also, I knew that Sri Lanka Tourism had a driver waiting for me. Would he still be there once I finally got out? Back at the counter, he started over again and pressed print.
I keep my fingers crossed now.
Nothing happened, and he leaves again.
I'm still here. 55 minutes now since I came up to this counter, and nothing. I'm all alone here. There are no other people getting processed. It's just me, just standing, roaming around here, waiting. The guy left again like 10, 15 minutes ago, and I have no idea where he took off to with my passport. This is getting really annoying. Maybe also because of my lack of sleep.
At 10:50, I finally got my stamp.
So that's it? Yeah. I hope my suitcase is still there. Yes, I know. Thank you.
I go to the baggage claim and hope to find my suitcase. It's not on the belt anymore, but thank God I found it, just lying flat on the floor in the middle of the room beside the belt. And then I go outside looking for the office of Sri Lanka Tourism, where I'm supposed to meet the driver. Here I'm greeted by 2 smiling women that gives me a flower necklace.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
How was the flight? Good?
It was good. I'm tired. I didn't get to sleep. So
can you take a picture with us?
Yes. I have... my arm is hurting me. I don't know why.
Go to the Radio Vagabond and see a picture of both those smiling faces and my suitcase on the floor.
As soon as I step outside with Karu, my driver, I get hit by a wall of very warm weather. It's a little bit cloudy today. The weather forecast said that it's going to be heavy clouds and thunder and stuff like that, but it doesn't look that bad.
When we come back, we're taking a walk in the hectic bazaar area of Colombo.
This is a very busy area of the Colombo. The Colombo 11 is called PETA.
Produced by radioguru.co.uk, this is the Radio Vagabond. My name is Palle Bo. Stay with us. I got an email that I'd like to share with you. It's from Ty. He writes, "Hi Palle, I really hope that you're doing well. But you can't just publish an episode the worst day of my life and then don't put out any episodes. As an eager listener and a huge fan of your stories, it's frustrating not to be able to do anything. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. All the best, Ty. P.S. I usually listen to your episodes when I'm out driving. Ty, I am very, very sorry for leaving you hanging. With the last you hear from me is that I'm afraid I'm gonna die. But as you can hear, I'm still alive and kicking. Well, mostly kicking. And I promise you that I will get into more details with that when we continue to Cape Town after these episodes from Sri Lanka. If you also want to drop me a line, please send it to listener@theradiovagabond.com. You can also send me a message on WhatsApp. Here the number is +45 40 105 105. Now, back to the show. Our first stop in the afternoon tour of Colombo is at the Royal Colombo Golf Club. After lunch in the clubhouse, I get in a golf cart with the director of golf operation here at the golf club.
Yeah, so it's kind of rare to find a big garden space like this in the city. Yeah. And it's totally walled, so no one can see inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
His name is Feroza Bilimoria, but he just calls himself Billy. Royal Colombo Golf Club is a historical place that was established in 1880, so almost 140 years ago.
But this is the second oldest golf course outside of...
second oldest royal golf course.
Royal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the English started all these golf courses when they were here, they gave it's a sort of a royal charter. I'm not sure how to explain that, but so you become a royal...
I noticed in the book that you passed around that it just used to be Colombo Golf Club, and then the old king came here and
exactly
right,
exactly.
And the other one is in India.
And the other one's in India, in Calcutta. Yeah, that's a little older than us. That's probably about 20 years older. No,
yeah, this is 140 years old,
something like that. Yeah. It's got history, it's got heritage, and it's got a couple of unique features which I'll show you along the way. It's got some beautiful old trees. Like, take for instance this tree here. This is a magnificent old tree.
Wow.
It's probably older than the club itself.
What kind of tree is that?
It's in Sinhalese it's called a Mara tree, M-A-R-A. Not exactly sure what the English translation is.
Huge.
Yeah, it's massive. It's got an unusual feature that not many golf courses have, is that it's got a public railway line that runs right through it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's kind of a neat feature.
How do you prevent somebody from accidentally shooting a golf ball into the train window?
Well, they don't go too often, so it's like maybe 4 times a day. So people just kind of wait, and it's not directly across. It's on the side.
Yeah.
So it very rarely happens that you actually hit one into a train.
Yeah.
It has happened, but not too rare.
And a train doesn't respond when you yell for.
Definitely not. It's probably yelling, it horns and yells for at us.
Billy tells me that it's a members club, but tourists can come here and pay and play.
Yeah, we have about 3,000 members, of which about maybe 600, 700 play golf.
Okay.
So it's not a big golfing nation. It's more of a cricket nation than golf. So cricket, rugby, football.
I read someplace a fun fact about Sri Lanka that cricket is the most popular sport, but the official national sport is volleyball.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
Yeah, I know, that's a bit strange. Cricket is the most popular sport, and we're probably, as far as how good Sri Lankans are, we're probably pretty good at cricket at world class wise.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the railway line that runs.
We also get to the railway tracks at the edge of the golf course, just as the train is approaching. Later that day, we go into Colombo Fort Railway Station. It's a major rail hub in Colombo. The station is served by Sri Lanka Railways, with many intercity and commuter trains entering each day. Around 2 million people use the train in Colombo every single day. 2 million.
In Colombo, 2 million people come to work morning and going back. early morning they are coming and they are going back.
2 million?
2 million people. The most of people are use the train because train is very easy, not busy, not traffic there.
Are the trains super crowded like you sometimes see in India?
Early morning and very crowded, super crowded.
But not people on the roof?
No, not in Sri Lanka.
No.
Not like that.
The fourth station was opened a bit more than 100 years ago in 1917 as a new central station for Colombo, and it was built on reclaimed land where the Beira Lake used to be. Colombo is divided into districts. This is Colombo 11, the Petar Bazaar area.
Yes, this is the main street area.
This is Reuter, one of the local Sri Lankan guides.
This is a very busy area of the Colombo. The Colombo 11 is called Petar. So this part is given to the British people during the British people in 1948. Before the 1948, this part is given to the small traders. For the small traders to the trading around this area.
So we see a lot of bag shops.
Yeah, bag shops are there. Also bag shops are there. This place.
Yeah.
There's one road is only belongs to bags.
Yeah.
And there's a first cross street belongs to electricity, electric items. Yeah. So like that, different streets belongs to different items are there.
Yeah.
First cross street.
All electric items are there. This is the first cross street. Only electric items are there. Very popular electric items.
The thing with different items in different streets is so funny to me. One street is only with bag shops, one is with electronics, and so on. This is not the way we do it in the Western world. The first time I saw this was even more weird. That was in Tehran, in Iran. Here there was one street selling only bridal dresses, one with shops selling chandeliers, one with wheelchairs, and the most interesting street, only shops selling old-time record players, the so-called phonograms. You know, the ones you see in the logo from His Master's Voice with the dog sitting in front of this horn. And remember, it wasn't just one shop. It was a street full of shops. However they were able to make a business out of that, I have no idea. Okay, back to Colombo.
So this is the main street. This belongs to the most of shops are coming from India. Goods are coming from India. Yeah. There's items are sari and everything salwar. For the most of people are coming, for the Indian people are coming and buying us from this area.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
We finished the walking tour in a beautiful Buddhist temple. As we enter the first room with the biggest Buddha statue, people are kneeling and worshipping the statue. And then there are some guys playing music. But this is not the only room in the temple.
The Buddhist temple, the normally concept there. There's the one is the bo tree, and the stupa, and the shrine room.
This is Reuter again. He explains how Buddhists go from room to room.
First, people are worship the Buddha statue, and then after the Buddha's ornaments, the Buddha's relics are kept in their enshrine the stupa, and this Buddha the Buddha is utilized the bo tree. So this temple is a very old temple, old antiques are there, antiques goods are there.
There are different religions in Sri Lanka. About 18% are Hindus, 7% Muslims, also close to 7% Christians, and around 69% of Sri Lankans are Buddhists. So Buddhism is by far the biggest religion.
Yes. Sri Lanka population, 21 million. Muslim, 7%. And Christian, 7%. And Hindu, the Tamils are Hindu, is 18%. Buddhist people, 69% Buddhist people. So the Buddhists are the most of people are Sinhalese. So they come to follow the Buddhism in there.
And that was all from the first day in Sri Lanka. only the first day. I'm not saying that there's going to be an episode per day of the 10 days here, but there's going to be a lot more. And this is it for this episode. But don't skip the rest, because in a few seconds you can hear a bit about what to expect in the next episode, and then you'll hear me old school rapping on a tour bus. The Radio Vagabond is partly supported by Hotels25.com, and the trip to Sri Lanka was made possible by Sri Lanka Tourism. See more on srilanka.travel. The Radio Vagabond is produced by radioguru.co.uk, where I also help produce podcasts for others. On theradiovagabond.com, you can see pictures and find links to all the things I mentioned. In the next episode, we're going to a spa/hotel/hospital/healthy food place/medical product producer and much more in just one place. Here I get a massage, and then you'll hear me do some old school rapping on an open top hop on, hop off tour bus. Or should I say, hip hop on, hip hop off tour bus. Take it away, beatboxing travel Dave.
With the hip hop, the hip to the hip of the hip hop, and the don't stop the rockets to the bang bang, the boogie to up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogity beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat, and me, the crew, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet.
My name is Palabo. I'll be back very, very soon with more tips on what to see here in Sri Lanka. See ya.